Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of Wild Snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down Underhive.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my Alliances series for Necromunda. I'm your host, Damon, and I've lost my mind a little bit because I've done so many videos today. I've lost count of how many videos. I'm going on holiday soon, and I'm very excited, and I've done too many videos because I want to schedule them so that while I'm away, you still think that I'm doing work when actually I'm having fun. But I've just told you my secret now. Anyway, let's get into it. We're looking at House Catallus today. My favorite noble house. They are weird murder clowns. You would not trust them around your children at all. House Catallus, keep them away from children. They are like Jimmy Savile, but probably worse. Sorry about that one. Anyway, House Catallus, I've used them and they're fantastic. This is one of my favorite alliances, so I'm very excited in sharing with you the benefits of these weird clown people. Now, the rules for House Catallus alliances can be found in the House of Artifice book, which is the Dirty Van Saar book on page 81. The benefits for these guys are, the first one is noble intrigue. So any gang may form an alliance with House Catallus. In addition, House Catallus does not care if your gang is law-abiding or outlaw because they are freaky-deaky clown people. However, it does say they don't care, but they do care a little bit because they like Van Saar more than anyone else, which is why they get a strong alliance with House Van Saar. Weird, but they obviously have an affinity for Dutch people. They also have the Faceless Allies rule here, which is House Catallus excels at making people disappear from Imperial records, or covering up their misdeeds. When attempting to sell to the Guilders any captive fighter taken from a gang that is allied to House Catallus, any enemy gangs gain no bounty, though they may still sell their fighters, effectively removing them from the campaign. In addition, once each campaign week, if a gang allied to House Catallus would be declared outlaw for any reason, they may choose to ignore this change in alignment and remain a law-abiding gang, though the gang must test the alliance immediately. So that's the first benefit there. The next one is Carnival of Death, which is a fantastic sounding metal band by the sounds of it. If there isn't a metal band that's called Carnival of Death, I'd be amazed. But during the pre-battle sequence, the gang may add the House Catallus Carnival to their crew. And if the gang is facing an enemy crew with any fighter worth 250 credits or more, they must include these guys in your crew, otherwise test the alliance. So there you go. In terms of drawbacks, we have the debts to be paid special rule during the post-battle sequence of any battle in which House Catallus Carnival took part, and if the gang contains any fighters with the gang fighter dues special rule, roll a d6 for each. On a roll of 1, the house demands that fighter be turned over to serve as a mine frayed. Gutted, mate. That would suck. You really don't want to be a mind frayed. We're going to talk about these guys in a minute, but they are just terrible people. Really not nice guys. The fighter and all of their weapons and war gear are immediately deleted from the gang roster, as well as their weapons and war gear, by the way. It's only a juve, but still, the gang may choose to ignore this roll, but you've got to test the alliance. It's pretty harsh, that one, but if you've got any juves and you roll a 1, see you later. They are now absolutely insane clown posse. The last drawback is the invisible truth. Once a gang has made an alliance with House Catallus, make a note on the gang's roster and do not delete this note, even if the alliance is later broken. From this point onwards, should the gang ever attempt to form an alliance with any other organization, roll a d6. On a 1, the gang immediately forms a new alliance with House Catallus again. So I really like this. It's very funny. Basically, these guys are sneaky, freaky deaky, all sorts of shenanigans there, but you try and form another alliance and all of a sudden you're allied with House Catallus again. You can't get away from them, just like Jimmy Savile. Anyway, so the House Catallus Carnival, I've used these guys and they're flipping fantastic. No official models, by the way, but all I did is I used the Rogue Trader model, the Assassin, with the katana, and I gave her a las pistol and she looks really cool. I used her as my masked killer, and then I converted a Slaneshi Age of Sigmar model actually and gave it Admech claws, as you can see here in the pictures, and that was my mind frayed. But anyway, let's talk about the special rules that you get for the actual carnival that turns up in your games. Many faces, one purpose. During the choose crew step of the pre-battle sequence, if the scenario uses the random X crew selection method, the gang may instead choose one of their fighters to be included in the crew in the place of one selected at random. If, however, the gang chooses to use this special rule, then they may not include the House Catallus Carnival in their crew for this battle. The special rule takes precedence over the Here to Help special rule. They've also got Here to Help and A Band Apart. A Band Apart means that they are just their own crew entirely, and also if they go out of action, they are out cold. Also, Here to Help, unlike any other fighters, the House Catallus Carnival is not counted during the choose crew step, so you get these in addition to your crew. Okay, let's talk about why I love these two so much. The first one is the leader, and it is the Masked Killer. She is movement 6. I say she because my one is female. She's movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 2+, and attacks 3. So the highlight there, attacks, initiative, and movement. Movement 6 with 3 attacks and initiative 2+, fantastic. Then we've got leadership 7+, cool 5+, excellent, willpower 6+, and intelligence 7+. She comes with a las pistol and either a mastercrafted power sword or a mastercrafted long rifle. So you can go 2 completely different routes with this. You can go sniper, or we can go close combat. Now, I would say that movement 6 with 3 attacks is definitely geared towards close combat. The power sword, being a mastercrafted power sword, is more valuable than a long rifle. So personally, I'm going to go down that road. But it really does depend, what your gang's got. If you're lacking a bit of firepower, then sure, you could bring these guys and have a bit more snipey fun times. If not, though, I would usually go with the close combat option, particularly because the Mind Frayed, which we'll talk about in a minute, is definitely close combat focused. She comes with dodge, which is a 6-up invuln, technically, mesh armor, photo goggles, and an infrasight as well. So you can have the infrasight on the long rifle, but you can also have the infrasight on the pistol too, which isn't, it's suboptimal, but, why not? She also gets the Catallus Carnival Hierarchy Leader and Artistry of Murder special rule, which is as follows. A masked killer is a master of violence. Yeah, no shit. Able to land killing blows upon foes as easily as other people might brush insects from their clothes. All weapons, check this out, wielded by a masked killer count as having shock. In addition, when rolling the injury dice to determine the effect of their attacks, a masked killer may re-roll any results of a flesh wound. So let's just unpack that a little bit, right? All weapons gain shock. So your las pistol gains shock, your long rifle gains shock, but most importantly, your power sword gains shock. And when you double up shock with power, what do you get? Disgust. That's what you get. It's horrific. 6s are just really, really nasty, basically. Anyway, that's fantastic. But the real icing on the cake there is you can re-roll all flesh wounds. So pretty much you charge it, you kill it. It's that simple. Nothing survives the artistry of murder. Next, and this fighter is even better, is the Mind Frayed. I talked about the Mind Frayed and said that the Mind Frayed is a little bit like Jimmy Savile. I think it is. So, movement 6, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 5+, strength and toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 4+, and attacks 2, leadership 9+, cool 10+, which we'll talk about in a minute, willpower 5+, and intelligence 8+. So some spangly stats on that one. Pretty average in close combat, but movement 6 and 2 attacks is certainly great. Cool 10+, you look at it and you go, that's terrible. Well, it is, but it does something else later. This guy comes with 2 flails. Flails are one of my favorite basic close combat weapons. They're +1 to hit, meaning that you're hitting on 3s now. They're +1 strength, and you cannot parry them as well. He also comes with Berserker, so you're charging 3, 4 attacks, 5 attacks on the charge, hitting on 3s with strength 4. Not bad at all, if you ask me. Now, he is an indentured fighter, so if the masked killer gets taken out, this guy effectively has bottled, so you'll need to make those cool checks with a 10 up. Terrible. But, and this is the real highlight here, Infectious Terror. I absolutely love this rule. When a Mind Frayed becomes pinned, all fighters, friend or foe, within 6 inches that are standing and active are pinned. So when he's pinned, you're pinned if you fail a cool check. So you've got to pass the cool check to avoid being pinned. You could be surrounded by a bunch of guys and just all of a sudden everybody's pinned. Everybody falls on the floor laughing, and it's just crazy clown shit, right? In addition, should a Mind Frayed ever fail a nerve test, which is quite easy to do when your cool is only a 10+, all fighters, friend or foe, within 6 inches also have to take a nerve test or become broken. So you could run this guy in, use a fear weapon, like a scare gas grenade, make him lose his shit if he doesn't kill people, and then everyone else runs away as well, which I just absolutely love. It's so fluffy. It's so cool. Yeah, what's not to like about House Catallus? Yes, they're weird, freaky deaky murder clowns, and, you know, that is what it is. But, you know, if you watch the end of 28 Years Later, which I would suggest watching, a lot of controversy about the end of that film. You'll get the Jimmy Savile references when you've watched that film, but these guys are those guys. So with clown masks on, maybe. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. So backflipping all over the place. Yeah, there you go. Now, I haven't actually used these guys as an alliance. I used them as 2 fighters in an Outcast crew, which was flipping awesome. I used them for multiple campaigns. In fact, I've got some old battle reports that you can watch on them as well. And they were just absolutely so fun and thematic and fluffy, and definitely my favorite of all of the alliances out of them. I know I shouldn't pick favorites, but these guys are most definitely my favorite. So there you have it. Anyway, I know this has been a weird one. I'll be back soon because I'm on holiday. So peace out.